What happens when a nominee for the highest law enforcement office in the nation cannot answer basic questions about the Constitution she vows to uphold? In a stunning and confrontational confirmation hearing, a candidate for Attorney General, Miss Bondi, faces a relentless barrage of questions from a determined senator. The exchange quickly devolves from a discussion of policy to a tense standoff over fundamental truths and legal principles. At stake is not just a cabinet position, but the very integrity of the Justice Department. Was her performance a calculated political strategy to avoid difficult answers, or did it reveal a shocking lack of preparation for the role?
Remind us all for the record that the 34 convictions, not indictments, convictions of former President, incoming President Trump were by a jury of his peers. Thank you, Ms. Bondi, for being here today, and I too would like to welcome your family and friends who are here. Appreciated the opportunity to meet yesterday to learn about your priorities and discuss a number of issues that are important to me. But I got to tell you, as I reflected on our conversation yesterday and as I've observed the hearing today, I continue to have significant reservations on your ability to function as a truly independent Attorney General for your friend. Let's say you keep referring to him, your friend, President-elect Trump. So I hope you can address some of these concerns through your responses to my questions here. Now, the first issue area is something that we didn't get a chance to touch on yesterday. So I actually want to follow up on some of Senator Durbin's questions from earlier about the 2020 election. And to be specific, on the day after the 2020 presidential general election, you traveled to Philadelphia to appear alongside President Trump's then attorney, Rudy Giuliani. And together, you falsely asserted that President Trump had, quote, won Pennsylvania in that election. Now, I want to be clear, at that moment, there were still at least 1 million ballots left to be counted in Pennsylvania. Of course, President Biden went on to win the state by more than 80,000 votes. But in the following days, even after the results were clear, you continued to double down on the big lie, promoting falsehoods about election fraud and cheating without offering any actual evidence. And I remember it clearly because I served as California Secretary of State at the time, and I invited anybody associated with the Trump campaign who was making these claims to come forward with evidence of irregularities in the election or massive voter fraud. 4 years later, I still have seen none. So I ask you today, do you have any evidence of election fraud or irregularities in the 2020 election?
So, First Senator.
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
First Senator.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
First Senator. I'm so sorry about the fires to you and Senator Schiff and what you're going through in your states. I have to say that.
I appreciate
I think
that.
all
My
of our,
clock is
I'll
ticking, and I want to
all
hear
of our
your answer.
hearts go out to everyone in California for what you're facing right now. I'm glad you asked the question about Pennsylvania.
It's a yes or no question.
I was
Do
hoping
you have evidence,
someone
yes or
would.
no?
Senator, I was hoping you'd ask the question.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
I traveled to Pennsylvania.
Do you have the evidence, yes
I traveled,
or no?
Senator, to Pennsylvania.
Okay, you're not answering my question. If you have no evidence to offer, let me ask you this. Will you now retract your previous statements that Trump won Pennsylvania in the 2020 election, yes or no?
Oh, Senator, I traveled to Pennsylvania, and let me tell you what I saw firsthand.
Yes or no?
I didn't talk about California because I was not in California. I talked about...
Yes or no? Last time I'm going to ask.
I talked about Pennsylvania because
Mr.
I
Chair,
was there.
I'm going to move on because you're clearly not
court
answering my
order
questions. And I want to know,
observe.
colleagues, for everybody, members of the committee and everybody watching, that the attorney who stood beside Mr. Giuliani was making very similar statements. And he has since been disbarred from multiple jurisdictions for making these false claims about the 2020 election in court. And like Mr. Giuliani, as you've noted today, you've taken an oath to uphold the Constitution just as an attorney. And now you're asking us to consider you to serve as the chief law enforcement officer in our country. So it's imperative, Ms. Bondi, that you subscribe to facts and evidence and not politically convenient conspiracy theories. Your job will be, your job will be to protect voters and election workers, not to undermine and dox them. Now, I know that earlier you agreed that Joe Biden is in fact president, but many of the president-elect's inner circle continue to spread the big lie about the 2020 election. Then move on to a different topic.
Senator, you were speaking. May I speak? You cut me off when I was speaking. When I ask you the next question, you can speak, and I hope you answer, Ms. Bondi. Well, I'd like to answer the previous one, Senator.
When we met yesterday,
you pointed your finger at me and said you were speaking.
You did not seem to be familiar
let me answer my question. I'm not
going
to be bullied by you, Senator
the 14th Amendment of the United States of America, which was deeply disappointing.
I guess you didn't want to hear my answer about Pennsylvania.
After I gave an opportunity to study overnight. So can you tell me and this committee what the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment says?
Senator, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm not here to do your homework and study for you. If I am confirmed as Attorney General...
You're the one asking for a confirmation vote,
you cut me off. Can I please finish?
What does the 14th Amendment say?
Senator, the 14th Amendment, we all know, addresses birthright citizenship. I've been a state prosecutor. I've been a state AG. I look forward to, even given your remarks today, working with you and the people of California if I am confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States of America. I didn't take your homework assignment. I'm sorry. I was preparing for today.
So on the 14th Amendment, now you've testified repeatedly to this committee that you will uphold the laws of this country and defend the Constitution of the United States. Do you believe birthright citizenship is the law of the land, and will you defend it regardless of a child born in the United States, regardless of their parents' immigration status?
Senator, I will study birthright citizenship. I would love to meet with you regarding birthright citizenship. Can I answer the question?
Serve as the Attorney General of the United States, and you still need to study the 14th Amendment of the Constitution? That is not helping me have more confidence in your ability to do this job. One other immigration-related question, I'll steer clear of the Constitution
I have one
and the
regarding
law.
that I'd like
Senator
to talk about.
Hirona asked you earlier, but I don't think you answered her question. Can you please tell us, do you agree with the statement that immigrants are, quote, poisoning the blood of our country, yes or no?
I did not say that.
I did not say that you said that. I'm asking if you agree with it, yes or no?
I did not say that.
Do you agree with it, yes or no?
My great-grandparents are immigrants.
Do you agree with it, yes or no?
They came here from Sicily
through
Ellis
yes
Island
or no?
when they were teenagers.
Do you agree with it, yes or
Senator, let me answer the question.
Yes or no?
My great-grandparents came here, immigrated to this country from Sicily. Recently went and found each of their birth certificates. We are a nation made up of immigrants. Do I believe immigrants are poisoning our country? No, Senator.
Thank you.
The exchange you just witnessed is far more than a simple political disagreement. It is a meticulous dissection of a nominee's fitness to serve as the nation's chief law enforcement officer. To understand what truly happened, we must analyze the strategies, the evasions, and the profound constitutional questions left unanswered. At the heart of this confrontation are two opposing forces: Senator Padilla's relentless pursuit of factual yes or no answers, and Ms. Bondi's consistent strategy of deflection and narrative control. The senator's primary tactic was the repeated direct question. When he asked, "Do you have any evidence of election fraud or irregularities in the 2020 election?" he wasn't just seeking information, he was constructing a public record of evasion. Each time, Ms. Bondi refused to answer yes or no and instead tried to pivot. "I traveled to Pennsylvania." She was stepping into the precise trap the senator had set. He made her refusal the centerpiece of his argument, highlighting a disconnect between her past claims and her inability to substantiate them under oath. This was underscored by his pointed reference to Rudy Giuliani, who stood beside her making similar claims and was later disbarred for it. The implication was clear. Making false claims has consequences, and her refusal to retract them raised serious questions about her judgment. Ms. Bondi's rhetorical strategy was one of avoidance and reframing. Faced with direct questions about her past statements that Trump had won Pennsylvania, she never addressed the substance of the query. Instead, she attempted to redirect the conversation by offering condolences for the California fires or recounting her personal experiences in Pennsylvania. When the pressure mounted, her defensiveness became confrontational. Her accusation, "I'm not going to be bullied by you, Senator Padilla," was an attempt to portray herself as a victim, shifting the focus from her answers to the senator's tone. The most revealing moment of this strategy came with her retort, "I'm not here to do your homework and study for you." A stunningly dismissive statement from a potential attorney general being questioned on her constitutional knowledge. This leads us to the most critical theme of the hearing: legal and constitutional competence. The exchange about the 14th Amendment citizenship clause was not a gotcha question about an obscure legal point. It was a test of foundational knowledge. The senator noted that she seemed unfamiliar with it in a prior meeting. Her response in the hearing was not that the question was unfair, but that she didn't do the homework assignment to study it overnight. The climax of this line of questioning was her admission that she would need to study birthright citizenship. For a candidate seeking to lead the Department of Justice, an agency tasked with defending the Constitution, this admission is devastating. It suggests a fundamental lack of preparation, or more troublingly, that she considers a core tenet of American law to be a subject for later study rather than ingrained knowledge. This is not about political ideology. It is about the basic qualifications for the job. Her repeated pledge to uphold the laws of this country and defend the Constitution rings hollow when she appears unable to articulate one of its most significant clauses. So, we return to our initial question. Was this a calculated strategy or a lack of preparation? The evidence from this hearing suggests it was both, intertwined in a revealing performance. The evasion regarding the 2020 election was clearly a calculated political strategy. Admitting she had no evidence or retracting her previous statements would have been a direct betrayal of the president-elect she calls her friend. However, her fumbling on the 14th Amendment appeared to be a genuine and stunning lack of preparation. The two are linked. Her primary commitment seems to be political loyalty, which dictates her answers on political matters. But that same focus may have led her to neglect the fundamental legal knowledge required for the office she seeks. The performance raises a deeply concerning prospect for her potential tenure. An attorney general who is unwilling to state basic facts that are politically inconvenient and unable to articulate basic law that is constitutionally essential. The ultimate concern is not just about her, but about the precedent it sets for an office that must stand for the rule of law, independent of friendship or political allegiance. What is your take on this exchange? Does a nominee for Attorney General need to be a constitutional scholar, or is loyalty to the president more important? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analyses.